right, good morning, folks. Welcome. Today is Wednesday, July 6th. This is episode number 147 of the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald, and over the next 30 minutes or so, maybe it'll run long, I'll be delivering the top cybersecurity news stories of the day and providing my expert analysis on each of those stories and what it means to you as a practitioner, or if you're looking to break in the industry, really how you can sort it all out, make it accessible to you, and most importantly, how you can operationalize it in your life. Shout out and thanks to this stream sponsor, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Cyber criminals have stolen your company's data and derailed your business operations, which absolutely sucks. Barricade Cyber Solutions will help you resolve this ransomware attack and get your business back on track. Eric Taylor, CEO of Barricade Cyber Solutions, great friend of the Simply Cyber community. He's often in chat in here. So if you don't have a break glass in case of emergency solution, in case you guys get hit with ransomware at your work, consider just having an exploratory conversation with Eric and the Barricade Cyber Solutions team, because that's what they do and they're very good at it. I want to remind you, if you hold a professional certification that requires CPEs or CEUs, some people call it. I don't know if that's like a international thing, like CEUs versus CPEs, but basically if you have to stay sharp in order to maintain your certification credentials, know that the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing is worth half a CPE per episode. So right now, you're getting half a CPE. So just make sure to document literally the easiest, and I would argue one of the most enjoyable ways to get CPEs. All you have to do is say good morning. I see Laura Alston on YouTube just said good morning. Guess what? If Lauren books this as a half CPE, there's unmistakable evidence that she was here. But if you have a pseudonym like Cracking Me Up's always here. Good to see you, Cracking Me Up. May want to drop a good morning. This is, Tom Pine or whatever. Unless you have some way to trace that you are Cracking Me Up across other social mediums. And then, you know what? It's on the auditor to piece it together and make that argument. Either way, absolutely love it. If you are live, I see 59 of you, 62 of you stacking up in here. Thank you so much for being here today, going with the red, which I will explain later. If you are on replay, hashtag team replay, couple things for you. First of all, absolutely thank you for catching the stream on replay. I know it can be tough to hit it live, but it is good. I do want to give some love to my hashtag team replay brethren. Here we go. Check this out. Look at this, right? Hashtag team replay. Keeping it spicy. Got some merch. Big fan. I love this shirt, by the way, guys. Super comfy, but I just think it's cool. I designed it, so your your mileage may vary on whether you think it's cool or not, but I thought it was kind of cool. I stay spicy. This was shout out to the squad members. I actually got some feedback from the squad on Discord as to some of the inputs for this. So if you are hashtag team replay and you want to get this, definitely check it out. Oh, actually, if you want, hold on. If you are interested in this, I'll just tease this. Well, let me finish the intro and then I'll show you what's up. If you are watching on replay, hashtag team replay, then you know the routine, guys. You can jump right to when we start. When this screen changes to news, that means we're news people. But for the next minute, 2 minutes or whatever, I love saying hi to everybody. And I have a couple like production notes that I need to share with everybody. So let's say good morning to everybody and have a good time. So if you do !merch in chat right now, I've got a link to it already. But what I want to show you is, let me show you this really quickly. I set this up. So hold on, what is this? Yeah, I set this up. So if you are interested, I don't really, if you've been around for a while, I've been doing Simply Cyber for like almost 3 years. I don't push merch really, but if you are interested in getting it, I set it up so it's 15% off. I don't really have a lot of control over promotions, but I was able to activate one. So it's 15% off all purchases through Sunday. Today is Wednesday, so through Sunday. So if you do !merch, it will take you directly to this. I have a couple different shirts and stuff like that. There's the Simply Cyber ones, obviously. You can see right here, it says 15% off. But you can see there's an I Heart NIST one. Jack Scott suggested that. and then the classic Simply Cyber one that I always wear. So if that's something that's interesting to you, check it out. Like I said, I think it's a really comfortable shirt, and I think it looks cool too. So that's the deal. And enjoy that 15% off. Again, I'm still new to kind of like the merch scene and like shirts and all that stuff. I used to have a different supplier, but they would take like 5 weeks to ship a shirt. I'm like, seriously, nobody's got time for that. All right, so let's say good morning to everybody. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Jim Lund. I saw you in there. Pono Joe, Anna Lynn. Nice to see you. Josh Mason. Good to see you. Yeah, for those on LinkedIn, we are pushing to several different platforms: Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. The richest experience is on YouTube. I'm sorry, LinkedIn doesn't have a lot of integration available. So if you do simplycyber.io/streams, yeah, a Carl shirt, I could work on that. That's actually really, really good. simplycyber.io/streams. I don't know if you're seeing that. You can see it right there on screen if you're watching on LinkedIn. That will take you directly to the YouTube channel and get you set up so you can engage with the polls, the emotes, the better, richer chat experience. So it's just a better situation. Oh, yeah, Steiber Norse. I pushed to Twitch. There's like 1 or 2 people who catch it on Twitch, but it's all good. Hey, Carrie, good to see you. Tom Bishop, I'm glad we got you sorted out on Discord. Hey, Tony MBA. Good morning to you too. Hey, Anthony. If you said good morning, I haven't had a chance to say hi to you. It's just I've been trying to produce a bunch of different stuff up here, but know that I genuinely appreciate all of you being here today to catch the news. Aaron KG, I think Aaron KG is actually going to be coming. If it's the same Aaron KG from Discord, I'm trying to work on a how to break into cybersecurity if you are a long haul tractor trailer driver, which I know is a super niche video, but it's surprising. Like I've had a lot of truck drivers or long haul tractor trailer drivers reach out to me and ask me how to do this. So obviously there's an interest there. And I like to serve the community, obviously. Hey, Cyber Dad, Shane Prevost, if you're in here, Eddie Del Castillo, Matthew Dimmick, always good morning. Good morning. All right, what's up, Brent Gurry and Matt Mears, if you're in here on chat. Guys, we're going to get into it. Final thing, stay with us for today's episode because all week we are raffling off a full practical ethical hacking course, the complete course from TCM Academy. This course is awesome. I've bought it multiple times. I've taken it. It is a delight. And Heath Adams, Zach Hill over at TCM Academy have donated 2 vouchers every day this week to raffle off. And bonus, Kimberly McKnight, who was our lucky winner yesterday, has access to it. So she threw her voucher back into the pile. So we're actually offering 3 today, 2 compliments at TCM Academy and 1 compliments of our good friend, Kimberly McKnight. All right, guys, let's get into the news and see what's cracking on the cyber front.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
It's Wednesday, July 6th, 2022. Hacker claims to have stolen personal data of 1 billion Chinese citizens. Last week, an individual using the alias China Dan posted on a hacker forum that they obtained 23 terabytes of personal information of 1 billion Chinese residents. China Dan claims that the data was exfiltrated from a Shanghai National Police database and includes names, addresses, birthplaces, national ID numbers, mobile numbers, and criminal records. China Dan shared a sample of the records on Breach forums where the data is being sold for 10 Bitcoin, equivalent to around $200,000. Binance CEO Chao Changpeng tweeted that the company detected a large-scale data breach of an Asian entity, which he claims was caused by a developer who accidentally leaked credentials via a tech blog on CSDN. The data breach, which remains unconfirmed, would be one of the largest ever recorded.
Okay, so I thought I had a handle on this story right up until the very end. Billion people. That's no that's no short supply of information, 1 billion people's information leaked. Okay. So, OPM was breached a couple years ago. Equifax was breached. So, like, there's been massive, massive data breaches. This one right here, China Dan is going to sell this for 10 Bitcoin. Now, one of the, I guess from a cyber criminal's perspective, one of the best things about digital assets is that you can sell it multiple times, right? It's not like, whatever, a scooter where you sell it once and that's it, or a computer or a French press. With digital assets, you can sell it again and again and again. So this individual is going to try to cash out. 10 Bitcoin sounds like a lot, but apparently 10 Bitcoin is only worth 200,000. The value must be going way down. So they're making a play for that. Now, you might be asking, like, what is the value of all this information? Guys, with spear phishing, with phishing in general, you could target people. You can use the information as data enrichment. So if you say you have a list of people who are investing in XYZ crypto, right? Well, maybe you cross reference that with this list, and all of a sudden now you have a much more enriched data set in order for which to target those individuals and or brute force password guessing, identity theft, etc. Right? You can do a lot with this, right? Guys, data enrichment is legit, right? So I say this all the time. I feel like this should be a shirt or at least a sticker. Data is the new gold. And like at this point, it's not even the new gold, it's just gold. Data is where it's at. That's why the 3 big tech companies in the world, their biggest export is data. It's our data. It's person data. Okay, so this data is going to have a lot of value. The final thing I'll say about this is the thing that threw me for a loop is how this data was got. So this individual, it says in the article something about like a misconfigured Elasticsearch, but then in the podcast, the guy said something about a tech blogger who posted to some blog site. Long story short, it sounds like a misconfiguration of some sort, and you've got to be careful. Like, listen, here's something that okay, all right, I guess I've either had enough coffee or the first story is just lighting my fuse. But check this out. Here's my thing. Mild spice, okay, guys? This is like crushed red pepper level spice. Listen, I get that we're like tech and we're all living digital and everything like that, and you want to move wicked fast and super agile. Okay, that's cool. But dude, you have to have some level of control in like in your operation. You can't just be like guns blazing, shooting from the hip on a train bound for glory, right? You've got to do things in an organized operational fashion. And people don't want to hear it because they're like, "Oh, like you're crushing my creative juices." It's like, yeah, I get it, but why don't you go write it in a notebook, and then when we're ready, you can put it in digital instead of just like firing it off. Okay, so and like I'm crapping on the blogger here, but in reality, it's like the IT infrastructure people behind it. I love, you guys know, I love IT people. I'm an infosec person. They are different roles, okay? But I don't want to say that IT people don't care, because they do care. But oftentimes it's like, oh, hey, can you post to the blog? Yes, I can post to the blog. All right, well, my job's done here. And it's like, well, did you do all the checks? Did you follow the checklist? No, I don't need to, because I've rolled out 50 of these blogs. I'm good. It's like, well, there's a reason we wrote a checklist, right? There's a reason the pilot does a checklist before taking off, because even the best people make mistakes. This sounds like a mistake, right? Otherwise, there'd be data breaches everywhere all the time, right? So no, it was a misconfiguration. You know, hearts and prayers to my IT people, but I'm just saying. I'm blaming you. I'm not, but I am. All right, next story. Next story.
Ukrainian police take down phishing gang behind payments scam. Ukrainian police say they have arrested 9 suspected members of a phishing gang and seized computer equipment, mobile phones, bank cards, and cash from their homes. The gang disguised their phishing scam as EU Social Security payment notifications, which routed victims to malicious sites that harvested their bank account details. Analysts say more than 5,000 citizens were defrauded out of a total of 100 million hryvnias, equating to $3.38 million. If found guilty, the suspects faced up to 15 years in prison.
Good. Good. Okay, so this is disgusting. This pisses me off. But like, Here's the thing, y'all. This pisses me off, but at the same time, like part of me, it's either because I'm truly human or I'm emotional, but like this pisses me off, and at the same time I can empathize. Okay, Ukraine is being like Ukraine's under attack, right? So the citizens are definitely getting hammered, and not in like the Las Vegas 2 a.m. way. Like they're just getting crushed. So this phishing gang is defrauding UK citizens with and the phishing hook, which is deplorable, is they're sending them fishes saying, "Hey, here's some European Union support. Like, go to this resource page. You can get money or food or yeah, weapons or a safe passage or whatever it is." And that's what makes it deplorable. Can you like? It's preying on people's fear and weaknesses, right? When they are vulnerable, and when they're vulnerable, then they're seeking help, like, oh please, just like a rope in the dark to hold on to. And then instead of a rope in the dark, they're like reaching out and getting like open hands slapped across the face, and by being taken advantage of. So I'm really pumped that the Ukrainian police took these people down, and 14 years in jail. um I don't know. I'd have to really do the thinking on whether or not that's a appropriate punishment or not from a justice perspective. I mean, you can't like put everyone to death or whatever, life in prison for every crime. But it's just this sucks, man. I hope these people have time to really reflect on how scum this particular attack is. Like when you're attacking vulnerable, like I don't know, it's like I'm not saying it's okay to attack like faceless corporations and stuff, but at least the victim is a little bit more diluted, if you will. This is like, single dad of two who's like trying to make ends meet and feed his kids, and all of a sudden like, oh, like here's something I can do, and then now like the little bit of coinage they've been able to save up is gone, right? Or whatever. It just, come on, man. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
NIST unveils quantum proof cryptography algorithms. On Tuesday, NIST announced its future standards will include 4 encryption algorithms designed to withstand hacking threats powered by quantum computing. The algorithms include one for general encryption purposes and another 3 for digital signatures and identity verification. All algorithms under final consideration met baseline security standards, and the choice came down to small differences in criteria such as speed and ease of use. NIST expects to select at least one more general use algorithm to include in its standards, due for release by 2024.
Wow. Okay. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I do try to not spend a lot of time on math, math or crypto. Um, but we know quantum's coming. I'm not surprised, and I'm happy to hear that NIST is working on new algorithms that will be quantum proof, which was always the big deal, right? Like, oh, like once we get quantum, they'll be able to break encryption. When they did AES, they actually opened that up as a public contest. Doll, which is the algorithm underneath AES, which you'll only ever hear or see on this show or in the CISSP exam, was an open competition, right? They mentioned here that these standards are going to be selected. They could be their level of rigor and resiliency to being broken could be the same, but one's slightly faster. And when it comes to encryption, frankly, speed is a critical factor, right? That's right. That's why, even though asymmetric encryption is way more useful, secure, and depending on how you look at it, better at encrypting, we don't use it for network communication. We use asymmetric cryptography in order to establish a secure connection using a symmetrical key, because the symmetrical key allows you to encrypt decrypt much faster than asymmetrical, right? Asymmetrical is heavy math, but symmetrical is less secure, right? But if you use asymmetrical to pass the symmetrical key token or key, then you have faith that the key is secure, and then you can use it for symmetric encryption. I'm not going down a asymmetric versus symmetric lecture series right now or anything like that. Just whatever. This is good news. We're continuing down the quantum path. Yay.
Google issued a patch for actively exploited Chromebug. Google celebrated July 4th by making their customers independent of a zero-day Chrome vulnerability. The tech giant issued a patch for a heap buffer overflow issue in the browser's WebRTC engine that could allow attackers to crash or even execute arbitrary code on vulnerable systems. Chrome 103 for Android and version 103.0.5060.114 for Windows and Mac fixed the issue, tracked as CVE 2022 2294.
Wow. Okay. Did you guys catch that version number? It had like 25 digits. Long story short, dude, patch your Chrome. Like if you have it set up to automatically update, then you're good to go. Make sure you do it on your mobile devices, like your phones, your tablets, your if I don't know if we have Chrome on TV OSs or Fire OS or anything like that, but make sure that they get updated all around, especially on your workstation. Any computer that you use to access email and financial systems, definitely update it. That's obviously right. Second thing, it's 2022. This is a heap buffer overflow. I know that like pen testers and red team people aren't doing buffer overflows in 2022 as part of their normal operation because they have a host of tools that do everything. But just know heap buffer overflows, stack based overflows, although stacks are kind of controlled at this point, but buffer overflows can still happen, right? So don't think that they don't exist anymore and they're just like an interesting academic example. And if you don't know, like basically a buffer overflow is kind of the first attack you learn when you're starting to do pen testing. In fact, I don't know if you do, I can't remember if you do it in practical ethical hacking. I don't think you do because it's not a practical attack. But it is pretty cool because it actually shows you kind of how memory works and how instruction pointers work and all that other stuff. A little bit lower level, of understanding computer architecture, frankly, and how attacking works. But update your Google. Okay, or update your Chrome. All right, so let's help CISO Series pay their bills for a second.
And now we'd like to thank today's episode sponsor, Votiro. Can you trust that your content and data is free of malware and ransomware? With Votiro, you can. Votiro removes evasive and unknown malware from content in milliseconds without impacting file fidelity or usability. It even works on password protected and zip files. Plus, it's an API, so it integrates with everything, including Microsoft 365. Learn more at Votiro.com. It's VOTIRO.com.
All right. So thank you everybody who is in chat and joining us both live and if you're watching on hashtag Team Replay. I do want to take a minute. We are doing a raffle today. We're doing 2 practical ethical hacking course vouchers for the whole course from TCM Academy. Compliments of them. They are partnering with Simply Cyber on this raffle. I also want to point out that Simply Cyber is now officially an affiliate for TCM Academy. I've worked with Heath for years, and now we've just kind of formalized the relationship where I will be an affiliate because I believe in the course content that he is pushing. I think actually, if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the show description below. I think I started adding that. I don't know. But check it out. Anyways, if you want to enter the raffle in order to win this raffle, we're giving away 3 today. 2 compliments of TCM Academy, 1 compliments of Kimberly McKnight. Go ahead and drop the keyword TCM. TCM. It's the same one we did yesterday. Okay. TCM in chat right now. That will enter you. That will enter you into the contest. So the letters TCM for the Cyber Mentor, which is Heath's online handle or moniker or whatever you want to call. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. I see everybody coming in. So while you guys are doing that, I want to share with you. Everybody's queuing up in the raffle over here. Why is my network going out? Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this. Later today, at 11:30 a.m., I will be running a simulation in the red versus blue threat gen simulator, cybersecurity simulation platform. Today, you might notice that we are red in the background. The reason we are red is because I will be operating the red team in the simulator, and I will be specifically executing Sandworm's TTPs. Now, if you don't know who Sandworm is basically one of Russia's top tier cyber capabilities. Effectively, it's a group of individuals. There's 6 that I know of. The Department of Justice actually has indictments out for all 6 of them. Obviously, very difficult to get them. They are responsible for massive attacks on Ukrainian's electrical infrastructure in 2015. The NotPetya attack, which has a fantastic article in Wired magazine from 2017, where they did a wiper virus and it really messed things up. They have attacked the country of Georgia. There's a whole host of attacks. There's a book by Andy Greenberg, I think, on Sandworm that's supposed to be fantastic. I haven't read it myself, but if you know Sandworm, you might want to come. I will be. This will be an educational opportunity, and even though it's ThreatGen's show, I will be restreaming it onto Simply Cyber because of the educational elements in it. But I will have MITRE ATT&CK up. I've already mapped out all the in-game actions that I have access to as a threat actor to Sandworm's TTPs. So we will be following them, and hopefully, we will be emulating the 2015 version of Sandworm, going after electrical infrastructure, effectively attacking and destroying human machine interfaces over a power grid. I'll bring up some news stories. If you are interested in good times, learning about cybersecurity, learning a little bit about history, and hanging out with me on stream, this is where you want to be. So go to, I think if you do hashtag ThreatGen, let me try that. I know the mods are annoyed with me and my my commands. I don't really have a consistent naming convention, but go to either exclamation point ThreatGen, which I think will come up, or it's youtube.com/ThreatGen. Yeah, you can see it. It just came up in chat. You can see it over there. And come hang out with me, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, let's get back into it.
ExtraLace ransomware gang shifts to cryptojacking. Hackers behind ExtraLace ransomware, which is a spin-off of Babuk ransomware, issued a statement that they are shutting down their ransomware operations and shifting their focus to cryptojacking. The gang first stated their intentions to discontinue ransomware operations back in February due to law enforcement hindering their ability to obtain ransoms from their victims. The gang noted that they were prepared to provide a free decryption tool to their victims. Google
Oh
to wipe
no! Oh no!
user
Hold on. I'm
location
running
history
late.
for
Running late.
visits to healthcare
Hold on.
victims. The gang noted that they were prepared to provide a free decryption tool to their victims.
Okay, so a couple things here. First off, Astrolocker is moving their operations to cryptojacking. That's the key takeaway here. Obviously, the title says that. But here's the thing: the reason, and this is, guys, this is the first. Like, This is typically reserved for squad members, but I'm gonna do this right now. This is the first time that I have heard of, minus like a major law enforcement takedown, where a ransomware threat actor has openly decided to move away from ransomware because law enforcement initiatives and activities have forced them to. They're basically, their victims are not paying for a variety of reasons, but they're quoting law enforcement and they're moving from ransomware to cryptojacking. This is awesome. This is wicked awesome because that's less people being ransomware. Now, the second thing I'd like to point out is that, and this is wild, is that they are offering free decryption. So, like, they're literally stopping their ransomware operations. And if you currently are suffering an Astrolocker ransomware attacker, they will make a free decryption tool available. That's mind blowing because they don't need to do that. I mean, they're in the shadows. So they don't need to do that. They could just say pound sand. Like, you can't buy a decryption like you can't buy the tool anymore. But this is like the most efficient customer service ever. Like this is like how you actually sunset a technology. It's funny that they're doing it, and it's hard to get corporate America to do it. But like they're sunsetting it, and if you need like legacy support, they'll make that decryption tool available to you. Now, here's the other thing. They are moving to cryptojacking. I have said this for a while, and this was based on a conversation I had with Paul Imey, who's a really seasoned cybersecurity practitioner over at Soteria back in July of 2021. If I was a threat actor, cryptojacking's where it's at, right? Like ransomware, you may get paid, you may not get paid. The chances of getting paid are going down and down and down. Once you ransomware someone, that's it. Like you shot your shot. Like that's it. With cryptojacking, you can keep milking that cow. You don't send it to the butcher. You keep milking it, milking it, milking it. A lot of times people won't even address cryptojacking, right? Like, and by the way, cryptojacking is basically where you put some type of miner on either the browser or on the operating system. And it's basically doing partial mining for you for cryptocurrency, right? If you're old enough, the SETI at Home project, the SETI folding protein, there's a folding protein project. There was the SETI at Home project. I know I'm dating myself here, but basically you're giving time slices of your computer in order to go into a massive network of systems, right? You're distributing the processing of it and into one central thing. So the threat actors, ExtraLace, they might have 500,000 computers mining for them, right? And it's all a time slice. And I'm just telling you right now, the level of friction, the level of burden, the level of inconvenience, and most importantly, the level of risk that is presented to the victim in a cryptojacking instance is low. So low that I have been CISO at businesses before and found cryptojacked machines, and I noted them and put them over here. This is a back burner to deal with later because I have bigger problems over here. I have potential ransomware. I've got Carl like remoting into stuff from things he shouldn't be, right? Like I've got bigger, riskier problems. Higher risk requires more focus. Cryptojacking, it sucks, but really the burden here is like a little bit of extra cost on the electrical bill. And again, yes, there is some level of compromise, but they don't have full system compromise. It's just they're just operating a little bit inside the context of like a Chrome browser process or something like that. So I'm not saying like let everybody cryptojack everyone. I'm just saying that this is a smart move if you're a threat actor. By the way, like when was the last time you heard like law enforcement kicks down doors of cryptojacking enterprise like criminal empire, right? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying this is a far less risky. It's just a longer play. With ransomware, you get a quick payday. With cryptojacking, you gotta milk that cow. Gotta milk that cow. All right. By the way, can I just say really quickly too? Their decision to move to cryptojacking because law enforcement efforts.
That's the sound of the police.
All right. All right. I love it. I love what law enforcement's doing. Okay.
Google to wipe user location history for visits to healthcare facilities and shelters. Google announced that it will automatically delete location logs when it detects visits to medical facilities, counseling centers, domestic violence shelters, abortion and fertility clinics, or addiction treatment centers. Google disables location history by default, but many users enable it to receive personalized recommendations. Even when the feature is enabled, Google will now delete logs automatically shortly after a user visits a sensitive area. Google also intends to make it easier for users to delete logs of menstruation trackers in Google Fit and Fitbit.
Okay. So obviously, this is directly related to the very polarizing topic in the United States right now of the Supreme Court's decision to reverse Roe versus Wade, which basically opens the door for states to individually make legislation and law around the legality of abortion. Google's doing their part to basically help protect individuals who are going to these locations in order to seek medical assistance, medical help, medical guidance, whatever. Um, I do appreciate that they do point out that Google does not track by default and that you have to opt in. A lot of people do because of the convenience. Joe Murphy, I'd recommend you go over to the YouTube channel for Simply Cyber. It's a richer experience over here. So go to simplycyber.io/streams. That's for any of the LinkedIn users. The YouTube is a richer experience. Okay, here's my thing. Google's doing a good thing here, right? By doing this because they're trying to protect individuals from being targeted by other individuals who are taking it to the streets, if you will, and attacking either physically or psychologically individuals that are seeking this type of level of assistance. Also, they include domestic violence shelters. Thank you. Can we not make it easy for, um, like predators, whether sexual predator or just like someone who slaps around individuals, whether it's and it's not just the traditional male domestically assaulting female, right? There can be females like Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, right? There could be the reverse. There could be different relationships, right? Could be parent and children. Like there's a million different domestic violence things, but making it so those individuals cannot track you. Thank you, Google. The only thing I'll point out about this story that immediately my brain went to is like, okay, like what are they deleting? Because if you see me, like if you have access to my data for whatever reason, and you could see me moving around all day, and then all of a sudden there's like a black hole, and then you see me moving again, and like I was moving towards this location, and then it's black hole, and then you see me leaving that location. Like, what's in that location? Oh, it's a like, is it wiping all user location history or just a time-based one around the activity of that individual? That's my question, right? So if they're deleting all user location data, then that's a little bit better, but then you start losing the value. I don't know. Why can't they just provide just-in-time value based on your location versus trying to track you and whatever. Data is the new gold, right? User location data is worth money. Okay. Anyways, way to go, Google.
Azure now has confidential VMs with ephemeral storage. Microsoft now allows Azure Cloud Computing Service customers to create hardware isolated virtual machines with ephemeral OS disks. The new Azure Public Preview feature keeps customer data 100% confidential since it will never be sent to remote Azure storage. Microsoft explained that ephemeral OS disks provide lower read write latency to the OS disk and faster VM reimaging. Customers will benefit from Azure hardware based trust execution environments to protect their data, which can only be processed by authorized code.
Okay. So this is a pretty cool service offering. Obviously, this is going to cost more money, and there is a very specific user base that are going to be using this. Right now, Microsoft and Google and Azure, they have like their corporate private. Well, when you buy up in the cloud, right, you have a couple options. You can have servers anywhere, including international, which cost X. Then you can have US based servers only, which typically cost X or may cost X plus Y, right? Like a little bit more to ensure that you have US based only servers, right? Because maybe you don't want a country like China or in Europe because you don't want to be compliant with GDPR, right? Or whatever. There's different reasons. Then there are servers that you can get in the United States, which are even more secure, right? So it's called GovCloud, and it's basically for the US government. So FISMA stuff, etc. So, and that costs X plus Y plus Z, right? It costs more because you're getting dedicated systems. This is another move that way. So Microsoft is offering ephemeral storage, which basically means that when you turn it off, it wipes immediately. Think of it as like extremely volatile memory, or there's no retention. Now, you would not use these type of VMs for your domain controller or your exchange server, right? Because it wipes instantly. The second you configure everything, it's completely wiped. So this is more for you would use these type of things like, say you're doing like advanced R&D research, or you're testing something, or you're doing machine learning and you're working with like a very sensitive um, technology. Maybe you're Tesla and you're working on a couple new battery technologies. Whatever it is, this is, I would argue, this is more for processing and doing different type of things that are sensitive for your organization, not for just normal operations and stuff like that. This helps address a lot of security controls that would exist, like, oh, like, is it properly configured? Is it, I mean, you'd still want it configured, but because it's stateless, it's not going to retain anything. So if a threat actor gets on it, they might be able to just in time take the data, but they're not going to be able to install persistence mechanisms. If they install ransomware on it, like, it's just going to shut off anyways because it was designed to be ephemeral. So this is cool, but this is I don't know. This is just like an additional feature and a nice to have for certain subset of industry segments. I will say that it's not exclusively for financial services, but I'm thinking financial services and crypto related stuff are going to want this level of confidentiality for different reasons. Also, big tech. And there's big bucks in that, right? So big money. I don't have a money sounder right now, straight cash, homie. So Azure's not going to spend this amount of time and this level of effort and this amount of money unless they're guaranteed to get like a great return on their investment. So this is definitely money related. Kimberly, if you can drop some Cyber Randy emotes into chat, I'd appreciate it because I can't do it myself right now. But that's definitely, this is straight cash, homie.
UK signs its first post Brexit data sharing deal. On Tuesday, the UK announced its first international data sharing deal since it exited the European Union 6 years ago. The agreement will allow unrestricted data transfer between the UK and South Korea, which is home to mobile tech giants Samsung and LG. The UK's data minister, Julia Lopez, says she expects the new agreement to bolster digital trade and vital research. Google, MasterCard, and Microsoft were among companies advising the government on this deal as part of an international data transfer expert council formed earlier this year. Ironically, had the UK remained in the EU, it would already have an established data adequacy deal with South Korea. And that.
Okay, so this is interesting. Like, so if you're in chat right now and you are in the UK, what's up? Pip pip and all that, cheerio, right? I can speak UK. That's totally inappropriate. I don't even know if that's politically incorrect, but that's like the extent of like oh god, Cockney? Is it Cockney? Is that the language or with the dialect, or I don't know. I'm so uncultured. Anyways, UK signs its first data sharing deal post Brexit with South Korea. I almost never, I almost never read these stories as I'm prepping the show for the show. But this one I was like, what is this? So I actually did skim this one because I was confused. So the data sharing deal, I guess maybe as an American, I just take it for granted that like I sign up for services and start using them. Think of this thing as like business to business at the international level. So if UK users want to use technology services, cloud-based services, leveraging IoT, whatever that goes back to South Korea, they're not able to do that right now. And the reason is because there's no data sharing agreements, right? So that's what this is. Basically, it's going to open up more opportunity and more access for UK citizens to leverage South Korean based technologies, South Korean based services, et cetera, et cetera. So, I don't know. Like, this isn't one of those things where like you turn on your computer tomorrow and you're like, oh my gosh, look at all the services. But this is this is something. Okay. So again, I take this for granted that you can just do that. Like, global economy is the global economy, but I guess we need international laws or international data brokerage deals. A lot of GRC going on in here, a lot of lawyers going on in here. So I'm sure it's a lot of money, but unfortunately, I can't give great expert analysis on this because it just seems like a data sharing deal. I've done probably 500 data sharing deals in my life. It's typically just so you guys know, like when you do a data sharing deal or a memorandum of understanding around data sharing, It is documentation. It's basically like a contract that's going to define what data, what systems, what entities, whether it's people or businesses, are going to have access to that data. What the entities are allowed to do with the data once they have it, i.e., can they sell it to third parties, which everybody wants to do, especially if you don't put it in the contract or the agreement. And finally, what happens if there is an active incident by both parties? Do they delete the data? Do they notify you, etc.? Oh, actually, and a sixth thing, what happens when the agreement terminates, right? So when the agreement terminates, do you delete the data? Who owns the data? Does the data live on in perpetuity? Once I have the data, even though it's your data, can I enrich it and call it new data, which is a trick that you can do in order to get around some of these agreements? Or I don't want to call it scummy, but it is a way to manipulate a contract in order to keep data and call it new data because you enriched it with other data that you bought. Anyways, that's it. Data sharing sounds boring, but it is actually an advanced GRC skill, knowing how to navigate those agreements and relationships, and then most importantly, working with the business so they can monetize the data itself. Advanced GRC, hashtag super nerd. But it is a thing. Maybe I'll do like a quick course, like a just a one module or something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
That's it for today's cybersecurity.
That does it for today's cybersecurity headlines. Yeah, baby. Okay, so I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. We are going to raffle off our TCM Academy. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I'm getting some pushback. I think my show description says best penetration testing, and there's been some concern around qualifying it as the best. I don't know. It's really good. It's the best I've taken to date. Okay, so let us raffle it off. A special shout out to all of you who have entered the raffle. I wish you the best. Hashtag Deem Replay. Sorry you can't participate in the raffles. Maybe I can figure out a way to do kind of like like not a longitudinal raffle, but a raffle that goes over like 5-day period or something like that. So the Team Replay people can not only have sick t-shirts, but they can also participate in the raffles. Shout out to Kimberly McKnight for donating her raffle winnings from yesterday back into the pot. All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Ready? First winner coming up hot. Our first winner is William Waringa. William Waringa. Good job, William. Connect with me on Discord to get to basically find out what we're doing here for your winnings. All right, let's pick our nest. Let's pick our next winner. Nick Haggis. Nick Haggis. Love it, Nick. Can't tell what that is behind you, whether that's a camera tripod or like a hunting stand. But congratulations, Nick. He's been subscribed since August of 2021. So long-time supporter, Nick. Congratulations. Love it. All right, guys. Finally, our Kimberly McKnight prize. Let's go, Kimberly. Our winner is Chinadu. Chinadu. Squad member, mind you. Squad member, Chinadu. Great. Happy to see Chinadu winning in chat. So that's going to do it. Our 3 winners, please connect with me on Discord and I can get with you. I'll just tell you really quickly the way it's going to work. Normally, I just give you the prize as you win it. But I talked to Zach over at TCM Academy. The way he wants it is basically at the end of the week, I'm going to give him a list of everybody that won, and he will reach out to you individually because it's not a coupon code. They're doing it a different way. So just know that you'll have to wait a few days to start the course, right? I think that that's fair to everyone. So please connect with me. All right, guys. So looks like 8:49. I did look at the chat comments yesterday and saw that people did not mind running long on chat. So that's cool. That works for me and that works for you. So let's keep doing it that way. Reminder, guys, that later today, please, if you want to come hang out at 11:30, I will be doing the Let's Play APT Sandworm. simulation on ThreatGen's YouTube channel. So exclamation point ThreatGen in chat right now. If you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, just know, like, set a calendar reminder for yourself at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. I will be going live, very similar to this. It'll be on my LinkedIn. It'll be on ThreatGen's LinkedIn and YouTube. And I'll be explaining Sandworm, showing you MITRE ATT&CK, and basically emulating them to a T. And my ultimate goal will be to recreate the Ukrainian electrical grid attack of 2015, which was kind of the first time Sandworm jumped on the scene. So there is no on-site attack going on with this one. It's straight OSINT, it's lateral movement, it's establishing Trojans for persistence, scanning through in the network, finding the HMIs, detonating the HMIs, a lot of data exfiltration and harvesting of credentials. So if you love cybersecurity, you're going to love this, I guarantee you. So definitely check that out. Just a final reminder for my hashtag team replay people. Right now, as I mentioned, this is available on the Simply Cyber spread shop, or whatever you want to call it. There should be a pinned comment. This is brand new. Hashtag team replay. Simply Cyber, stay spicy. I wanted to give some love to the folks on replay since they can't be here in person. It's 15% off through Sunday if that's something that's interesting you. If not, definitely stay here, keep consuming. It is freely accessible, and that matters to me. So that's going to do it for today's episode. Today was Wednesday, July 6th. This was your daily cyber threat briefing, episode 147. Everybody have a wonderful day. If you can't make it at 11:30, crush it, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Otherwise, I'll see you at 11:30. Cheers, everybody.